All right. Hello, everybody. I just want to give you some insight into getting started on your March book review. I do have 3 options for you posted right in Google Classroom under March book review. The first template that's already ready for you, if you wanted to choose this one, is a character web. So for any of these 3 options, you have to do 2 of the same things, one of which being a brief introduction to your book. And it tells you exactly what to write about here. You can talk about why you chose your book, your initial feelings about it, maybe what jumped out at you from the cover, or how you're enjoying it so far, if you like it, if you don't like it, if it's part of a series, whatever you want to talk about for that, you can put it up here. At the bottom, you are going to have to choose between these 3 things to write about a paragraph about, and I'm going to show you a model in a second. You can either write about a social issue, a big idea or a theme, or a personal connection. So whichever one feels right for your book, that's the one I want you to pick. And again, I'll show you a model in just a second. This is the actual template that you're going to be filling out, because that's what you're practicing, is a character web on this one. It's saying here to think about how the characters are connected and just add them all to the web. So all you need to do, you can see, is double click this and it brings you to the Google drawing, and you're just going to read each of the boxes and fill it out. So you could, this says here, click edit text to add the character's name and a short description of him or her. You're just going to click on that, delete it, and fill it in. So you'll talk about who your main character is, what are they all about, what do they like, what is their situation in your book, and then all around the outside you'll explain other characters' names that connect back to that central character. So this would be a really good option if you have a book that has a lot of characters. If your book doesn't have a lot of characters, this probably isn't the right fit for you. So let's take a look at the other 2 options you have. You've got a character figure template. This is probably the one I would choose, and this is the model that I'm going to show you in just a few minutes. Same thing, you're going to do the brief intro to the book and talk about either a social issue, a big idea, or a personal connection. But this one, when you double click it in the boxes, you're really just focusing in on one character. So this box says relationships with other characters. You're just going to click in there, delete what's there, and just start typing about what type of relationships they have with other characters. Up here, you will talk about things that your character values, what's important to them, their thoughts that they have throughout the book, how they react to conflicts, personality traits, and then any actions or hobbies that they have. And this is a good one if you've got a really strong main character of your book. And the last one is a plot line template. So this is going to be a good option for you if you're towards the end of your book. If you just started it, this one's not going to be a good fit for you. So all you have to do is talk about the problem down here, the problem or conflict that's happening in your book. These are all different events that lead to the turning point or the climax of your story. Then you'll talk about what happens after the turning point, and then eventually how the problem is solved. All right, so I'm going to pull up, oops, I thought I already did. I'm going to pull up a really good model of the character figure template. This is a student that read a book called Hate List. She introduced the book down here. She said, I chose this book because it was a topic that intrigued me. She talks about how the cover was cool, the preview on the back of it was really interesting, and it keeps her wanting to read, and it makes her think over and over again about different things. So this is what you're aiming for with how much I want you to write for each of those boxes. So we're not just writing one sentence or a handful of words. You really want to dive into your character, pull in some specifics from your text, use other characters' names, and as many details as you feel are appropriate to explain your character. So down here, she talks about Valerie, who's the main character she's focusing on, and her relationship with her boyfriend. And all the other boxes she filled out really nicely, and you can just kind of follow the prompts for that. And then down here, she chose to talk about a social issue because the book deals with a school shooting. So she talks about gun control and mental health concerns in our society. So that was a really good fit for her. But again, you don't have to talk about a social issue. You can talk about a big idea or theme, or just a personal connection that you might have with the book. So like I said, if you go into Classroom, you have a copy of each of these. You probably should already have one from your general ed class. But if you don't, feel free to just click on whichever one you want to use and get started. If you use one of my templates, then it's automatically shared with me. But if you're going back to a document that you started in your language arts class, I just ask that you share that one with me so that I can have access to it and give you feedback, because these are due next week and I would like to see them and help you out a little bit before you turn them in. All right, good luck.